My earliest memories of being gendered were definitely like ideas like forced onto me.
Don't sit like that. You're like showing me everything. And it's like, I'm a kid. You're the one that's kind of like putting some sort of like sexualized vision of who I am. And I'm just trying to play. It was always super ingrained.
Like, I remember when I first realized I have limitations or I have to be a certain way because I'm a guy.
Things got uncomfortable.
Why does this not look like how it's supposed to look? Why does this just look completely out of proportion?
Oh, you're taller than the other girls.
Like a lot of the times I feel like my body's too small for me. And like I feel like I'm not enough.
Even though I may present feminine, they look at me and they see a man.
I think I just wanted to feel like I was part of something because I didn't fit all these like expectations that my environment was putting on me. But when I was able to meet them, the only euphoria or pleasure that I got from that was from being accepted into a group, but not from being who I was. I was never gonna fit in because I'm a guy amongst a bunch of women.
As a man, it's expected that kind of push down those feelings, you push down anything, you just kind of keep going. And you know, things come up, but you gotta take it like a man.
Because of how they see me, for some reason, I have to be masculine for them to make them comfortable.
Always.
I felt like I was performing so much, but I was genuinely like, I felt like I was dying inside to just not be that.
I feel dirty, like I'm stuck.
Like the environment that I was put in was so toxic and it was like sink or swim. If you don't feel confident, you're gonna sink.
It's kind of like you're underwater. You're not in control anymore, and that pushes you deeper.
And what that meant for me was like utter and complete depression. I did not fit any of these stereotypes that were like being put on me.
I'm a guy not pretending to be a woman, but trying desperately to be a woman.
Like I know I can be a guy, but it feels like unachievable. It feels like a sick joke that the universe is playing on you. It's just like the funniest thing ever. Like a guy in like a woman's body.
Almost feels like you're watching someone else. You know, they're just out to protect themselves, like a wounded animal. That's what it feels like, you know, when you feel doubt.
I feel like when you put so much pressure on passing, it can get really dark because it's really out of your control. I'd like to focus a lot more on like getting gender euphoria from things that I can do to like my body.
And changing that.
Like wearing a binder or wearing a packer.
I was able to do these things, shave my legs, for instance. Afterwards, I felt that I had cleaned myself of that masculine attribute.
Me just being true to myself, I feel like that's like a bubble in my brain or something, and I'm slowly getting a drip feed of it, and I just want to be able to like open it up, and I don't know how.
I started off with waist trainers and super tight belts to give myself like a more hourglass shape. I've been able to also do laser. Just seeing even my body brighten up, like losing hair follicles, losing the darkness. I feel like when I imagine my femininity, it's this big glowing thing.
It's a warmth. It's removal from that deep hurt. It's getting above the clouds and really just seeing the sun.
I feel freer. I feel a bit more true to myself. Like I feel like I'm accessing that drip in my head, maybe a bit more.
Tianse was there when I felt like I had nothing left. She is the epitome of my own femininity. Not being a permanent physical thing also helped reinforce what I experience as being gender fluid.
I see me, and that's not the same thing I saw a year ago.
A lot of time you just get used to feeling uncomfortable. So when you finally are able to feel comfortability, feels like you're like unwrapping a new present.
Any new changes that will make me drastically feel more like a woman have to be clinical. So it almost just feels like I'm like picking up rocks and throwing them at a pile, and then I'm picking up the same rocks from the same pile and throwing them at the same pile again.
I don't know if I'll necessarily ever feel complete, but I feel less empty than I used to.
I am not complete, but working towards completion is validating.
And I don't think I will until I like either get counseling or like go on HRT, which kind of sucks.
I think that as things progress and time goes on, I will feel more complete. I will feel more whole.
And I feel like gender in itself is something that is never truly complete.